Imagine the world's most elite athletes suffocating just minutes after kickoff. In the oxygen-deprived thin air of Mexico City, billion-dollar training programs crumble. The 2026 World Cup isn't just a test of tactics or talent, it's a battle against physics itself. High-pressing football is dead the moment you hit 7,000 feet above sea level. As the tournament approaches, geography is rewriting the rulebook. The ball moves faster, lungs burn harder, and tactical genius turns into survival instinct. What if the secret to winning the 2026 World Cup isn't talent, but barometric pressure? While the world focuses on star players, a few nations are quietly mastering thin-air tactics, turning altitude into their greatest weapon. Mexico City sits over 2,000 meters above sea level, a vertical monster that swallows even the fittest squads. Visiting teams arrive confident, only to realize that every sprint feels heavier, every breath shorter. The air is thinner, the oxygen scarcer. Recovery, almost impossible. For the first time in World Cup history, geography might matter more than the tactical whiteboard. The 2,000-meter threshold acts as a natural equalizer, erasing the gap between football's giants and its underdogs. Traditional power rankings? Irrelevant. Here, the mountain decides who survives. Elite European systems, Germany, Spain, England, are built on relentless pressing. But at altitude, that intensity collapses by the 30th minute. Players hit their aerobic ceiling. The high press becomes a suicide mission. Physiological data shows recovery times skyrocket in thin air. Explosive sprinting becomes a finite resource, burned out before halftime. The result? Tactical disintegration. Underdogs lure favorites into high-intensity traps, then strike when exhaustion sets in. Altitude doesn't just slow the game, it rewrites it. The pressing machine breaks down, and the match becomes a war of endurance. At 7,000 feet, even the ball behaves differently. Low-pressure environments make it travel faster, curve less, and dip unpredictably. Goalkeepers trained at sea level face a nightmare. Shots that refuse to follow standard flight paths. Long-range specialists from Ecuador and Mexico have learned to weaponize this chaos. They train in these conditions, mastering the unpredictable aerodynamics that turn every strike into a potential goal. Technical superiority on the ground means nothing when the ball itself refuses to obey physics. In the thin air, every pass, every shot, every clearance becomes a gamble. As the group stages unfold, certain fixtures stand out as prime upset territory. Matches in Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey will test not just skill, but survival. The 2026 schedule stretches teams across vast distances, from sea-level stadiums in the US to oxygen-thin arenas in Mexico. Travel fatigue compounds the altitude effect, amplifying the physical gap between acclimatized squads and everyone else. By the time the knockout rounds begin, the question won't be who's the most talented. It'll be who's still standing. Altitude-native teams have developed a survival blueprint: low block and launch. Instead of chasing the ball, they conserve energy, absorb pressure, and wait for the moment when their opponent's lungs give out. Home field nations use acclimatized squads to maintain tempo while visiting teams gasp for air. The psychological edge is enormous. Playing in a fortress where the environment does half the defensive work before the whistle even blows. In these conditions, tactical brilliance is replaced by biological advantage. The mountain defends as much as the players do. To lift the trophy in 2026, teams must do more than outplay their opponents. They must outlast the planet itself. The eventual champion will either conquer the mountain or simply survive it. Altitude doesn't care about tactics, budgets, or reputations. It strips the game down to its rawest form: lungs, legs, and willpower. The world's best will arrive expecting a football tournament. What they'll find is a test of human endurance disguised as one. The 2026 World Cup will be remembered not just for goals or glory, but for the invisible force that shaped every match: the air itself. In the end, the story of this tournament won't be written on the tactical board. It'll be written in the thin air above 7,000 feet, where giants fall, underdogs